Hey, how you doing? This is Dr. Ed Gray doing my thing, chilling, doing my thing. Wanted to give you the Trump Daily Report. Today is April 2nd. I left April Fool's Day alone because it was Trump Day, because it was April Fool's Day. So that being said, he gave his speech last night. It's wild. I'm thinking about the speech. He bought some time in which he talked to the American public about the war in Iran. And it was supposed to be something that he interrupted our day or our evening with some important information regarding the war. And he did not give any important information. Looking at the notes here I have compiled, it was just a waste of time. So let me just go ahead and start kicking and dropping the knowledge. See, when presidents go on nationwide TV, they are the president. They are there to give important information regarding something of great consequence. And in this particular case, it was to go ahead and give some important information. And the only important information he gave was the fact that the Artemis spacecraft is in space and is headed toward the moon. That's about the only thing he gave. But when it came to Iran, he had nothing of consequence to give. Now, we can go back and talk about why we're there, and we wouldn't come up with a reason why we're there. He mentioned the fact about the Strait of Hormuz, and he also mentioned the fact that our allies need to take up our slack regarding a war that he started himself. He started the war himself along with Israel. They started the war. And as a result of that, those two countries are now driving the destruction and the obliteration of Iran. So now we are in a war that initially started was going to be nation regime change. Now he said, I don't care about it. Then it was about, well, they had weapons of mass destruction. They was going to have nuclear weapons. And now he's stating that, oh, I don't give a damn about the uranium there. So he don't give a damn about any of that. But meanwhile, we have troops that are headed over there. And then they're not really headed over there. The USS Gerald Ford was attacked, or somehow they said that they had a fire in the laundry room of the ship, and therefore the ship has to go back to harbor and back to a safe port, and it won't be part of this invasion. If there's an invasion at all, it may not even be an invasion, because Trump is a taco. Trump always chickens out. He always chickens out. So we may be just playing war games on a higher level. But that's Trump. That's Trump. Millions of people voted for Donald Trump, and this is what we get. So I'm happy. As long as you're happy, I'm happy. I'm just sitting back and looking at this and seeing he don't walk on water. He doesn't walk on water. And I will tell you another reason why he doesn't walk on water is because he is losing cases. In boxing, they always say that once you lose your O, you're never the same. Meaning you can be 35-0 and you have invincibility written all over you. Once you become 35-1, well, you still may be a great fighter, but somehow there's the doubt in your mind that you can lose because you lost. And then with people that's fighting you, they'll say, hey, I can make it 35-2. So 2 instances in which Trump has lost. Today, for example, Trump went to and gave a speech today, and he was talking about the ballroom. This is one of the losses. One of the cases he lost was that they said you can't tear down the White House to build a ballroom. Nobody, for the most part, is lauding that and saying, hey, we won the case, we won the case. They are so content upon making it seem like Donald Trump can't lose that even when he loses, no one say anything about it. So this time, I will say it. You lost. You lost. You wasn't supposed to knock down part of the White House. In the ballroom that you have, you got to hold off on that, buddy. You got to hold off on it. Now, the bottom line, they probably going to end up building the ballroom. They probably will. They'll reach some kind of deal or whatever. But we have to take in consideration he lost that. Now, another case he lost. Another case he lost. And is losing. He's losing this one too. Check out the news again. The news, he went to the Supreme Court. He went to the Supreme Court on birthright citizenship. It's a black thing you wouldn't be able to understand. I'm always bringing up black stuff, Emma, right? Birthright citizenship is written in the Constitution. It's written in the Constitution because it solidified people who were of African descent and made them citizens of the United States. So all of those people who were living in the United States were not considered citizens. Even if they lived north of the Mason-Dixon line, they were not considered citizens because they were black, because citizenship was always confined to people who were landowners and were white. So if you owned some land and you was black, you wasn't a citizen. You couldn't do it because you were African descent. The Supreme Court had ruled previously to that matter to say that, you're not a citizen. This country was built for white men. So now that argument is being used for and against in today's Supreme Court rulings. So that argument is being done. So check this out. Check this out. Wow. I couldn't have ever wrote this. So what ends up happening is that Trump lost that case on a lower case, and he did what he normally does. He appealed. Most people say, well, when he loses a case, we don't say, hey, he lost the case, he got his ass whooped. We just sit back and we go like, he lost the case, he's getting ready to go appeal. He's going to win that. Okay, perhaps not. He still have to go through the motions. So he went to the Supreme Court. Literally, he went to the Supreme Court, stood in the audience, sort of like, some gangster stuff, like where someone is on trial and the person who really did it is in the audience and he's there to intimidate the jury. The jury in this particular case is the Supreme Court. So he has his, arms crossed and he's looking at him and everything, and they're arguing the case. And Trump's lawyer is one of his personal lawyers. Couldn't make this stuff up. So it's one of his personal lawyers. And we got another law case coming up too. So one of his personal lawyers. And he is doing absolutely awful that one of Trump's handpicked Supreme Court justices, Justice Kavanaugh, was trying to help him out. And then what ends up happening is the lawyer, Trump's lawyer, the Solicitor General, Trump's lawyer sits there and says, I never thought of that. And Kavanaugh basically said, look, I try to help you out as much as I can, but I can't help you out. So they're getting ready to go back and decide whether or not birthright citizenship is going to stand. And I pretty well think it's going to stand. Now, speaking of lawyers, again, Trump has at his highest, that's an oxymoron, a contradiction of terms. Trump has hired one of his personal lawyers to be the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. I always call her Pam Blondie because she has blonde hair, Pam Blondie. So Pam Blondie today got fired. And I saw a post say that how does it feel for the Attorney General to get fired by a felon? Go figure. So she got fired because she couldn't help out on the Epstein files. Ooh, Epstein files. We hadn't said that. None this week. We were talking about this bogus war that he did in order to go ahead and get us to stop thinking about the Epstein files. Oh, now we get a chance to talk about it again. So the Epstein files. So now she gets fired, and now we have to go pick someone else. Not we, but he's going to have to go pick someone else. Couldn't happen to a better person. So we're looking at the situation in D.C., and we see that it's the same as it's always been. And I wish I could drive back home to D.C. to be with people, but gasoline is $4 a gallon, affordability issue. The affordability issue in which Trump ran against Biden should bite him in the ass right now because people can't afford gas. That's going to end up hurting with MAGA. And speaking of MAGA, Alex Jones, you know, Alex Jones, that guy got slapped on the wrist, if you will, because he's a conspiracy theorist. Now, he is saying that Trump is sick, a sick man. He's saying that Trump is sick because what he has noticed is that Trump's physical, it's beginning to decline. He's seeing that Trump now is beginning to, it's not all bad. It can't be all that. The things that he's saying is even weird for Donald Trump. Look at his press conferences. Look at his press conference. It is so depressing. It's down, sort of like the Dow. The Dow is down, down, down. Down goes Frazier. It's down. I'm losing money. Now, this is how Trump is really going to mess up. He's going to mess up because as I shift and try to look out the window here, and I'm looking and I'm seeing how the Dow is going down and how people like me, people who retired now, having to rely on our savings to go ahead and make sure we have a standard of living that we're accustomed to. MAGA, where you at? Holler if you hear me. You know, that being said, what's going to happen? Oil prices being what they are, over $100 a barrel. I mean, you know, and now how it affects us all, what is going to happen next? Now, when it started hitting, despite all the insider trading that he's done, and he's done a lot of that, he telegraphs his punches and what he's going to do. You can tell it. But now that's where we at now. The Dow's going down, and so is his approval rating. 35%. 35%. 35% of the people now are saying that I am with Donald Trump. You know, that is incredible. That's like, you can find at least 35% of the people hate Santa Claus on December 25th. It's low. How low can you go? Apparently not low enough. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So this is what Trump has done now. Trump has continuously to degrade our military by spending money like he's a drunken sailor at the Cliff Club. Yep, a drunken sailor at the Cliff Club. You don't know where that's at, right? Oh, yes, you do. I can see it in your eye. But that's all I have to say about that. So now where we at now and where we're going to go is two different places. We're at this level now. We can only go lower because we have a president that can only take us that way, low. So what are we to do? I'm just going to ride this movie out and see what happens. I don't give a, they told me I couldn't say that. But what I will do is I'll go ahead and put that on YouTube where you can follow me, Ed Gray, on YouTube, IDGAF, about Trump, his Iranian war, and his law cases. Keep losing, boy. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. I'm sorry. That's disrespectful. Keep losing, Mr. President. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.